my moving image museum. What we see today, we owe it all to our ancestors who insisted on thinking and knowing more about the image. It all started over 30,000 years ago when our ancestors were playing with shadows and the light from the fires in the caves. The artistic use of shadow in storytelling was developed in ancient China during the Han Dynasty and gained huge popularity throughout Asian culture. The art form later spread across the Ottoman Empire and reached Europe in the mid-18th century. It became a major entertainment for public up to 400 people with shadows accompanied with pianos and music and a storyteller. And then the drama started. Although Aristotle in Greece and Mosey in China were familiar with the form of the pinhole camera, otherwise known as camera obscura, it's the Arab scientist Al-Hazan who really understood it and is credited with this invention between the years 1015 to 1021, where he trapped an image through a hole and the light transported that image into his dark room, Al-Qumra, which is later on known as camera, and trapped that image on a white screen upside down, but he did actually trap it. Fabulous, magnificent. Various conventions tried to recreate the 3D effect. Peep shows, views, or peep boxes can be tracked back to 15th century Europe and are known in various other cultures. Oh, what a beautiful view. This is a great example of how man wanted to perfect his inventions and to actually develop them and go further. For hundreds of years, this innovation has entertained people. By simply looking through a small hole or magnifying glass, the viewer enters a world of magical and extraordinary discovery. Showmen carried their peep shows across Europe, setting up fairs and markets displaying images of battles, faraway lands, and historical events. Invented by Sir Charles Wheatstone in 1838, stereoscopy enhanced the illusion of depth by turning 2D images into 3D experiences. Actually, the brain reads them as a three-dimensional image with depth and a very fascinating view. The first stereoscopy viewer used drawings as they predated the invention of photography. In 1860, the Italian Venetian Carlo Ponti discovered the megalithoscope. Through the holes he makes through the photographs, he was able to create a picture so different and so beautiful that I personally think it is very unique to this museum. I just love it. From the 16th century onwards, artists have played with images to find ways of transforming and distorting them. One picture that has three-sided images on it, you could see it from every side differently, almost like a 3D in-depth image. The invention of the magic lantern in the 17th century introduced the ability to project images and kicked off a new era in the world of visual entertainment. The magic lantern was an oil lamp, simple oil lamp. You put oil inside, there is a flame that comes out here, and then on top of that, we place the projection unit on top of it. We have the lens right here, and the light is coming from inside here, and we have a little slide like this that we insert in, and we can actually show it either moving or still. The first lanterns were mostly used by magicians and conjurers. 18th century saw the development of the phantasmagoria, invented by the Belgian illusionist Robertson. The projection of ghosts and other frightening figures fascinated people at that time. But it created dramatic stories. This is where we moved from a simple shadow into a picture working with man and a pianist, a professional storyteller, giving us a full, if you like, almost like a movie of today performance. Double and triple lanterns were introduced, allowing a much smoother transition of images during a performance. It's interesting to note that most of the special effects used in cinema before the digital age were actually introduced by magic lantern showmen. In 1825, Dr. Peirce from London published the first set of thaumatropes, otherwise known as the Wonder Turner. Two images printed on two sides of what looks like a coin, when flipped, created an action and a motion and a movement. It was, in my opinion, a very important step towards perfection of animation. This story had the merit to start a whole series of experiments aimed at animating images, which eventually, together with the invention of photography, led to the birth of cinema. In 1832, Joseph Plateau, a Belgian physicist, and Simon Stamfer from Austria invented the phenaketoscope, which used a spinning disc attached vertically to a handle to allow one to see an animated image. And that movement is the interruption basically of the eye, and the brain is telling you to see emotion, to see a picture in action and motion. In 1833, W.G. Horner, an Englishman, first introduced the zoetrope. It is to be noted that this particular apparatus only saw its commercial success much later in the 19th century. In 1877, the Frenchman Émile Reynaud patented a new type of zoetrope. It was named the praxinoscope, which was an apparatus to eliminate as much as possible distortion, a controlled light through the use of mirrors, and that created a smoother motion and animation. The use of centrally placed mirrors also compensated the distortion when viewing through slots. A large amount of flicker devices were developed over the years using drawings at first and then introducing a sequential rotation of photographs, as photography was invented only after flicker devices. The mutoscope became possible only because we discovered a camera that could actually shoot continuous images. These continuous images were printed on reels, and the reels were actually viewed through the mutoscope. Mutoscope became so popular that even the iconic star Charlie Chaplin used it to reach a wider audience. For me, I continue to enjoy, even now, the little stories and vignettes that the mutoscope was offering public. It's a bit of fun, and life goes on. One of the most successful flicker devices was the Kinora, an invention of the Lumière brothers in France, based on an idea by the American H. Kessler. Just at the same time, when the mutoscope was discovered, Lumière brothers immediately jumped and made a Kinora, which is a home application of the mutoscope. Reels of flipbook type photographic leaves could be viewed through the lens of Kinora, and then numerous reels could be bought or rented out. For a few years, it was even possible to have one's own moving portrait or story taken in a studio, so much so that the first home moving image cameras went on sale in England. Kinora became so popular and so much needed at home that some of them actually had two lenses for two people to see it at the same time. Thank you for visiting the museum. I'm Akram Miknas, the founder of this collection. First, I would like to thank the government of Dubai. I would like to thank MCN for homing this museum, and for Pierre Petou and his friends for helping me in setting it up. Since I started my business in advertising, I immediately realized that image was at the essence of communication. Without image and without moving the image, it would have been almost difficult to create dramatic moments in advertising and communication. So I hope that this visit has made you understand more of the essence, the history, and how man started thinking of moving the image. Thank you again.